How you doing? Welcome. It's Charlie. It is Wednesday morning, April 14, 2021. And I love this tree. Look at this. Beautiful. Get a bit of the wilderness right in the middle of the city. High school across the street. And runners. This is the bike path at Equestrian. I know, digressing. Changes. You know, as I've said many times in the past, when things that I've wanted to happen and do things, and more recently getting the room and stuff like that, and it didn't work out. And I says, well, I've always, especially I learned more so than when I was homeless. And that's because of words that carry from the pastor. He always told me, he says, Carlos, you ever wonder why you're not really going anywhere in life? And that's because you're drinking. You keep wanting the success you want while you're being inebriated. And like a lot of us homeless at that time, we're desperate and stuff like that. And you just don't understand our logical thinking and everything. So we think. And it's like, oh, well, you just don't understand me. No, but it does make sense, It's just, why would you be stowed wealth and luck at a point in your life where it could be more dangerous, more detrimental, And again, there's something as trivial about getting the room and not being able to. Has a beautiful, wonderful voice of reasoning said. It was just as well, because you may have caught something while you were there in your overnight stay, and that is very true. That is very true also. Just because I've stayed there before, it doesn't, and given the circumstances and all this, so yeah, Nor do I really look a gift horse in the mouth also. I thank it. I'll say, hey, all right. Thank you. But, so, changes. Obviously, it's pretty apparent now that there's really no help as far as the help that I need. So I'm having to take the initiative. I pretty much foresee things really getting a lot more worse economically. And my minimum wage could be raised another $2. I could be bumped up an extra, I honestly don't even really know how much money I make per hour. I don't care. I know. I really don't care. I really don't pay attention the different wages. I just know that the amount of money that I'm getting paid for is really not conducive to everything that's going around. I.e. the cost of living. Now more so, more money I make per hour, the more my employer and everybody has to raise their prices. So it's going to cost me now more to buy the products that I need, that we're selling to the general public. But financially, it is not viable for a person of my age and my financial aspect right now. Things are changing a little bit, especially with the company going out here. Things are changing a little bit better, but then still, it's very unpredictable. And given the politics, I can't exist out here. I'm either gonna continue to fade into like really bad depression, and I am greatly afraid that I am going to end up picking up a can of beer just one day and just really saying F it and just I really am, and I'm doing my best, but I don't, I really don't trust the help that I'm supposed to be getting, which is very, very little to absolutely none. I mean, with the exception of a few texts that are just, how am I really supposed to do anything? Things still happen. Things still happen. Things go missing still. Things are still loud in the house. People are still staying here. I can't find a moment's peace. I really can't do anything in my room to help me. And the little time that I do have out here, now less seen less, you've seen me, because I don't have the fortitude anymore to really face you folks. So I think the headaches that I've been feeling in my lower back are the proverbial signs of getting kicked and saying it's time to change. It's time. You know what's coming down the road, and summer's not even here yet, and we're hopefully just opening up in time, but and I just don't want to go through the homelessness again. I'm 55 years old. Yeah, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. I have the confidence in myself, and it's not arrogance. It's far from being arrogant, but I know that I can do it. I don't want to. I really don't want to do it. It's not. Oh my God. It's just going to be so much more trouble now. And it's going to be so much more difficult now. Immigration is so crazy right now, as we've all seen. There's going to be so much. Just, oh God. So much being pulled from so little few places that I don't think it's going to be able to be equally distributed, or fairly distributed for that fact, honestly. There's just no housing out here. There's just absolutely no housing, and the housing that there is, people are holding on to their property right now, and rightfully so. I would too right now, even though I say it's so. If you have a piece of property, honestly, that you've been paying dubiously for the last 5 years, hold on to it, man. Right now, that is just your that right there is your Diners Club. That is your American Express Gold. That is your Amex. That is your Visa, your Master. That right now, if you are in California, that'll hopefully give you some stability. But man, anything below that in the area of rentership right now is just, and working in retail and having to purchase retail goods out here in California, in Southern California, it's just not financially viable, not very well livable, unless you are maybe a couple working with an 5-mile radius of your living, so you don't have to commute that much, hopefully, but still it'll be expensive. Insurance and fuel costs. Parking is maintenance on your vehicle is nothing compared to parking and then fuel. Really, unless you have a deal, you're gonna be paying a good fraction of the month, actually, honestly, on parking. A fraction, I'd say almost a fraction of what your rent might be in some cases. if you live in places like downtown LA, and we're talking in some places, in some situations, almost like those absurd amounts that you hear. There was a parking space that went for like $1 million or whatever. So you'd be surprised. So at a very much cost, entirely wow, that's gonna cost. So the plan is that by mid-June I will be back east with my daughter. You will be happy to hear that. And so right now she's just like really tickled pink. I mean, she's just like, see, this is another thing that I say also, that out of bad, definitely always something good. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, this definitely was the plus. This was the stimulus checks of all stimulus checks in my life right now. To be able to, for the first time in a very long time, to be able to hold my daughter and to be able to hear her laugh instead of hearing it on a video conference or on the phone. That is just, and if you're a parent with kids, you know what it is about that laugh that your kid, that even in your most burdened day, you just hear your kid laugh at a certain tone at a certain moment, and it makes you at ease. That's what I get. So I'm really looking forward to hearing that. And then after that, shortly thereafter, within a quick turnaround, the plan is also to come back out to the west, though not back to Pasadena, not exactly back here, a different location, undisclosed, but I have already talked to my employer, and hopefully with the grace of God, and because this is all on the fly, and all of a sudden, it's just that I've waited long enough, and that is my fault also. And that's where also the great disappointment is on my part. So I just was hoping and trusting too much into an entity that I thought was supposed to really care, but whatever. So I'm gonna have to take the initiative over on this side, and then shortly, within a very reasonable amount of time, hopefully won't be too long, I will be starting a job all over again, different location, but same company, and hopefully things will go that way. It's more important. Don't even really, though we do really care about having the availability of an apartment. That's another thing. Is the cost coming this way is going to be great. A little bit is covered. A lot of it is going to be on a wing and a prayer. So I've started a GoFundMe list, or a GoFundMe campaign, and that'll be linked down below. And that's to help offset the cost just to travel, because of course, it is a lot less expensive to move out here than it is to out there. So, but still, you have to book it and get the price right there at that time, and get that situation, because even they'll tell you that anything can fluctuate from a day to a week basis. It just depends on people's desires. So yeah. So took it, and a lot of things were already initiated and just having to be taken care of. I can't do this anymore. for an entity that is so inclined and solely focused on helping a sector in life, the protection is not there. There's no empathy, really, the compassion. At least not this now. I mean, with the first two people, I think that's another thing that I'm really taking a back seat to. And I think my housemate, my other housemate also, he's just amazed with like my situation with my last person. It's just above, honestly, and beyond what I think that a person in this position would do. And the person previous that was handed my case, because they moved on, was just wow. Those two people and those two faces I just will forever remember. So my expectation when this baton was handed to them, me, I was expecting to more or less pick up where that kind of care and concern was. And that's just disappointing. Again, that's my part too. I shouldn't have had that expectation on this person, which I had no idea, because actually there was a temporary person in between that was a kind of a liaison and for an impromptu emergency meeting right in the middle of all this crap. And that was just, that person just wanted to, was more inclined to see all the video and go back and tell the office and the organization of the gossip. So that was, I was really disgusted. Even the other housemate, he was just like, I go, yeah, I know. I was really disgusted with that. But then again, greatly my fault, my expectations. How stupid of me to think that people in that kind of a position should be humanitarian. And again, I'm not pointing fingers. I can't point fingers to someone who walks around with a neon sign and Mount Vesuvius on top of their head. So accusations I don't have to make. Everything's there. You've seen it. You've experienced. I've shared it. That's why. So, all right, my friends. I'm really tired. I'm so exhausted. I almost feel numb at times. You know, it's just sit there in front of the laptop, and over here I got the TV on, distraction low. And in some of the video, I think in one of them upcoming, you'll actually hear the sound of crickets, bugs in the background chirping. Many of you long ago, well, I had already done that. I had already had one of those white machine noises. I've been using off and on for many years those things, namely Home Medics brand. You know, they always made the good ones, you know, and I always had it, and I always had a fondness for the crickets. And still, even you can hear, that was the best part when I was editing. You can, and I'm cracking myself up, you can hear the banter, the very loud banter from also another room away, and kind of sounds quite possibly, just because I know the sound of the house and the way it's laid out, even out from outside, reverberating into my space through the door. Over here you hear the sound of the white noise of the crickets. I was just laughing. Still not a drop I have touched. All right, friends, I'm going to end it here and then head off to work. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to post this. But I will post this. Changes. Can only be for the better. Well, it already is. I get to see my daughter, so she's pretty happy. All right, my friends. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, definitely comments, good or bad. If not, email. Follow the links below, please. Also, the GoFundMe list or link should be down there. And yeah, just keep in touch, and I'll do my best to post this. You know, I haven't snapped by then. I don't think so, but